Experts from Zimbabwe, Chicago, Michigan and Nigeria presented various initiatives they lead.
Inkster Cultural Arts District. Now, one of the things GABA did when we first moved it to Inkster, sitting on our DDA boards and all these other boards, was to say, you know what? We need to really move real estate into the city of Inkster. The best way to do it is the cultural arts. So we started stepping up, moving towards the cultural arts district. First thing we did, we put up 2 murals in the city. We put this one up about, where's this, 2019? We put this one up about 2 years ago. This one just went up in the spring. And they're both located in our what they call our central business district.
So I'm not sure how many of you have had a chance to go to Victoria Falls or to come to Southern Africa. Any show of hands? So imagine having a knee surgery and being able to be at Elephant Hills in Victoria Falls and watching the elephants, during a sunset and having dinner while you heal. And let's talk about the power of healing. Will that really heal you?
Printing in Africa is a $9 billion industry. Most times when we share this number, people don't get it. They look, or they just assume, because the way they've labeled Africa, they think we're still backwards digitally and we print everything for every reason. But no, printing is beyond just printing on paper. It includes, our laptops, our devices, our coffee orders, printing labels, putting things like that on them, beyond advertisement and things like that.
Because especially if this is a company that this is the first time they're exporting, or maybe this is the first time they're exporting to a particular region like Africa, it's so important, like one of the other speakers mentioned this morning about the culture. You want to make sure that you're respectful of the local culture, that you follow the proper processes, etc.
We've been getting results and comments and feedback saying that, because they know that academics, the education, is a requirement. This is a wonderful opportunity. I've been through it myself. It changed me. And they want the same thing, and they know for them to get it, for them to be able to get this opportunity, they have to be in school, they have to have good grades. And a lot of these kids are actually returning back to school, finishing their high school diplomas, taking SAT lessons, and just trying to become the global citizen that we want them to be.
Wrapping up the event, a panel of diaspora community leaders discussed the role of the African diaspora in driving inclusive growth in Africa.
In terms of diaspora, how do we get them involved? The first question I ask anybody is, what's in it for me? Do we ask that question when we want to talk to people? What's in it for them? What are they going to gain from it? We have to pitch that to them, let them understand the benefits of it. If they don't understand the benefits, they're not going to buy it. It's basic sales. You want to sell something to somebody? You have to always think of what's in it for them.
Part of the problem is trust and ignorance, and it's up to us to, change the narrative. We're here, I wouldn't say we're building the bridge. The bridge is already built. Now the 2 key questions that we need to ask is, how do we get people onto the bridge, and once they get on the bridge, how do we get them across the bridge, right?
So if we want a bridge, we want to go over the bridge to get them down there, to invest, to get involved in things, we have to tell them what they stand to gain. One, if we're talking about diaspora, we're talking about Africans of the first generation, people like me who came maybe a few decades ago, or we're talking about the people that are African Americans that have been here. They're all, each side are diasporans. But we also have to bring about a uniformity in thought, which is conversations. How do we bring about the relationship? We're establishing the relationships. Because when we build a relationship where we don't see a difference of, I'm African American or I'm Nigerian American or whatever, those fancy titles we call ourselves, we see ourselves as brothers and sisters with one home continent that we want to go back to go and walk in, then things become much easier.
We have to be able to educate and commune with each other. And so what I always encourage first, second gen folks to do, along with Afro-Latinos, who we work with a lot, and people who identify as Black Americans, is see each other as part of the diaspora. We have to really begin to deal with our own prejudices and biases. Those of us that come in recently, those that lived here for 50 to 90 years, where we don't even communicate. I personally have friends who have never heard of the area, the agreement, like they don't know what that is. And so we have to do a better job of having the conversations with each other, not lecturing each other about what you should be doing and what you're not doing, and all of the challenges that we face moving forward in unity. But hey, I want to let you know that this is happening. You have a certain skill set. We may need you. What does that look like? You joining me on a trip, on an exchange. You should come back. And so I think the invitation, one, I love when President Addo, he was here a couple of months ago from Ghana, and he made the case in front of a room full of Black Americans. This is your home. He appealed, bring your skill set. And I think more of that has to happen, and we have to have first and second gen folks actually do that. Come with me so that we all can contribute to this new area and benefit in new ways.